Welcome to the MTR5 Rip and Rebuild MultiRip overview. As normal, we will start the application. Disks are automatically mounted. If you close the application with the MultiRip window in the open state, it will open again for you when the next iteration of the application. Failing that, you will open it through the extractor's MultiRip extractor window. To use the Rip and Rebuild version, you will first select your volume, you will select your Rip and Rebuild extraction method, and you will then press the plus gadget to add the volume. The scanning is indicated on the bottom left, and it can take time in Rip and Rebuild, so you'll need to have a little patience while it builds its data structures, as there is a lot to build. Okay. The item is added to the window, the view in the list, where you can clearly see that this is an oversized image. A probe is needed. You should be familiar with this view now, as these are unified through all different methods, and you should familiarize yourself with it to know exactly what it does. For this, you have two options. You can simply load a probe here, or you can expand your window. Click on UI config, and we end up with the UI config bin. So we will have a look at this. Video title sets are on the left hand side. Indicated titles of the currently selected title set are on the middle, and the video cells and menu cells are on the right hand side here of the currently selected title set. To select between video cells and menu cells, there are no buttons. You simply click in the relevant column of the video title sets table. So you'll notice we have a deletion column here now, where we can delete title sets. Now, the title set may have been deleted from the extraction list, but it has in fact been added to a storage bin, where it may be returned back to the video title set table for extraction. There is also a reset button, where you may reset back to a complete and vanilla original load state. You'll notice we also have a deprobe button in this panel. Therefore, if you come straight here, you do not have to flip back to the main screen to load a deprobe. Exactly the same process to load a deprobe. We also have a save button. The save button allows you to save the complete and utter structure that you have set up for the disk, including strip types, extraction types, ISO image, DVD media. Everything will be remembered. For example, I click save. This is Cars 2. It'll go to desktop. I will click save. Small progress bar. It's gone. And it appears on the desktop with an RnR prefix. Now, that can be loaded with the same button as the probe. To note that a DVD probe file and an RnR file may work in RnR mode the same, but they are very different. An RnR file is substantially bigger because we have saved the whole of the structure. So we would simply come here, Cars RnR, open. It loads, everything was remembered, everything was put back in its place. You can notice video cells, unreferenced ones, are switched down for you. A lot happens at the beginning when you load an RnR mode. There is a lot of code that is actually going to read through your disk and check all of the instruction code on the disk to do a very fast and dirty navigation check. We will remove and switch off a lot of data this way, saving you some time. Blank titles off. If you switch on blank titles, any titles that are turned off will be blanked and taken out of the iPhone structure to no longer exist. There is a check that is run on each one before it's extracted to see if it is linked to, or if it links to another title, i.e. if it's actually in the play chain, the progress chain of the disk. Even if it's just reading a few instructions, it will be maintained. It will be switched back on for you and kept. And you will see this after your extraction. You will be able to come back to here, and this interface will be updated with the changes that the app made to make sure your disk is output correctly. Let us reset. We will talk about full strip. These are strip modes. Full strip will actually remove data from the disk, reducing its size considerably. Blank strip maintains those gaps but uses blank data, MPEG-2 data, in the gaps that it fills to maintain structural alignment. Full strip also does, but you may have better luck with one mode than the other. Extraction methods, navtrack, it follows the navigational pointers. Cell track follows the cell pointers. If we find an error in a cell, we'll just jump to the next cell. And cell 16. Cell 16 is a deep copy mode, which uses basically the error correction system and jumps 16 sectors forward anytime an error is found. It's a deep copy and it can take considerable time. Obviously, if you've loaded a probe map, then you will basically be skipping over all of that data anyway. Let us look at a probe map now. We will now load a DVD probe map and show you what happens with the interface. I've already prepared one for this disk. You will select the DVD probe button. You will select the relevant probe map. Trying to load an incorrect one will result in a corrupted file settings warning and nothing will happen. So, DVD probe file loaded. And as you can immediately see, in full strip mode, everything was removed and the interface text in the tables has turned yellow. The yellow signifies that you are locked in to a DVD probe mode with no adjustments. If you make one adjustment, then it unlocks itself from the DVD probe mode. Most of the DVD probe data is there, but you have made a change. So it's indicating that you may have loaded your probe, but you have augmented or changed the probe settings. Let us reset. If we put it into blank strip mode and load the probe, all of these files or these title sets that indicate 0 will be left in the RIP, but they will be padded to basically blank data, maintaining the original layout of the disk. We will reset again, put it back into full strip and reload the probe. There, so there's original VTS, but the new VTS will obviously be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. There will be 6 VTS. The size of the disk will be 8.6. Now we can have a look on the first VTS. The title is deselected and there is a cell that's deselected. This title will be left in, but if we turn blank titles on, this title will actually be removed from this title set. You can change the menus to menu cells by clicking in the menu column of the selected title set, this being BTS1, and as you can see, nothing. So we can have a look at 2. These are the video cells, and there are no menu cells, so nothing will happen when you click there. There's only one cell selected. These will be blanked, but the title is accessed. So title set 3, if you notice, is switched off, but the date is here. This is indicating that although it's off, the video title set is going to be extracted, because clearly the IFO is definitely accessed, which means it's accessing commands in the actual IFO. So you don't want to mess with this. You don't want to remove it. Do not try and remove it. Next one. Okay. All titles are basically accessed. So there's possibility to access every single one. In other words, data, it is possible that data will be branched from one to the other. The menu cells are indicated. Let's look at the video cells. You can see we have angle blocks indicated. So we know that there are multiple angles in this. Only the last cell is not played. Everything is fine here. And everything is fine there. And you can see in our storage bin how many title sets were actually removed. We will now go through an extraction, but first of all I will be selecting that I want this written to an ISO image, and I want to delete the source file. ISO images, when extracted now, are appended with their creation date. Therefore, you cannot overwrite your original ISO if you're saving to the same location with the same name. And with that, we will close. All that is left to do now is to look at our location. We are going to desktop and clicking the extract button. I will accelerate through this part of the process up to the reconstruction and ISO building stage. We will now progress and rebuild the disk structure indicated by orange, and building the ISO image as indicated by a green progress bar. Once your RIP is complete, you will be left with an ISO on your desk, and if you chose to delete the source file, there will be no source file. Obviously, if you didn't, you will also be left with your source folder of data. At this point, you can select the volume you wish that matches and either eject to remove the whole volume from the system, or simply hit the minus key, the delete key, to remove the entry from the extraction list. Here is our extraction. We're running on a USB drive, unfortunately, which is quite slow. And there you have your ISO image. That is all you need to know for the rip and rebuild extraction. Any further questions, please do not hesitate to approach the forum where your questions will be answered. Thank you.